Hey y'all, I was not planning to do a video today. However, I I just had a major glitch in reality, so I've got to do it. And I thought, oh, there's a bunch of things I wanted to talk about, but I don't have the best technology. And this phone, when I do these recordings, sometimes glitches out or it doesn't take much to shut off the recording. It's just a cheap and a free app. I think I learned my lesson. I bounced out of the photo that I was in and changed locations. I reactivated the. I took it off of airplane mode so that I could look something up on the internet. When I came back, the recording had stopped and I couldn't continue. And I don't have a way to piece this stuff together with this app. So basically, almost 30 minutes of talking just got wiped out. And it's finicky. This whole phone is just finicky. But I need to mention this. I had a major Mandela effect, major anchor memory. This is all about cat litter. You remember back in 2016, this cat litter thing. This was Tidy Cats. We went through a major flip flop. It was Tidy Cats, and then it went to Tidy Cat, and it was that way for maybe a week or two at most. For me, it was just short. It was very short, maybe a week, and then went back to Tidy Cats. We were people are saying, "What just happened?" This just flip flop. That was one of the earliest flip flops. We were just seeing flip flops like crazy back at that time. It's like the world is just getting rattled up. And sure enough, it flip flopped and it stayed Tidy Cats for me. So here it is, Tidy Cats. But the Mandela effect or the reality glitch for me is this here. I need to explain myself. So my wife normally buys cat litter. We got 3 cats, so we go through the cat litter. She normally buys that orange box at the Kroger that's just a few blocks away from our house. But this weekend, she went to Walmart, the super Walmart, not just the grocery, the super Walmart, had to pick up a bunch of things, and she got that black kitty litter box, much larger. Notice that it is exactly the same size as the orange one next to it. It is the same, even height, everything's exactly the same. However, this weekend when she got home, I went out to greet her. I often do, try to take some things into the house with her, but because I just had the hernia surgery not long ago, I'm on light duty status. I can't pick up anything heavy. So I go to the car out in the driveway, and she pops the trunk. And I'm like, holy crap, that's the biggest litter box I've ever seen. I didn't even know they could make them that. How do they expect anybody to pick these up? And then I immediately said, I can't lift that. She says, well, who do you think got it into the trunk? I think I can get it out of the trunk. So it was bigger than any litter box we've ever bought. I'm just trying to anchor this in. So this, I just noticed today, was the exact same size. Just today. It's in our bathroom. But when I was bringing it into the house, I had her lift it onto this little tool that I have in the garage for lifting heavy things. I set this on here. So I wheeled it into the house. And I wheeled it into the bathroom to set it next to this orange box. And when I did, I didn't just lift it off because I can't lift it. Even that's like too high for me to be picking up anything. So I slowly nudged it off the side with my foot until it finally just tipped over, hit the floor, kind of rocked and hit the orange box, nearly knocked the orange box completely over. I mean, it was a whole fiasco. I mean, it was an ordeal. The reason I tell you this is just to say, or to establish how my memory is anchored to this big ass litter box that she brought home on Sunday. So now I guess I'm kind of pissed because I know she paid a lot of money for it, and it shrunk. So when I originally put it in the bathroom and it was next to that orange box, the dang thing was a good 3 inches taller. It was the same in the other dimensions, but the height was like 3 or 4 inches bigger than this orange one. So I guess I should be mad because unless my bank account was adjusted, this thing probably still cost more money. But yeah, I noticed that today. I was like, hold on, that thing is the exact same size now. That's not right. I remember making such a big deal about how big it is and seeing it being so much higher than the other one when I offloaded it into the bathroom. So I noticed too, as I'm just kind of observing my thoughts around it, just like an observer, just kind of backing up and watching how my mind is working with this. There's definitely an undertow or there's some kind of influence to just let it go. I mean, I could feel it. It was like something saying to me, maybe I was wrong. It's not a big deal. Just keep going about your day. You're too busy to worry about this. You've got a lot to do today. All of that was happening, like this magnetic force to pull me away from looking at the glitch in reality that just occurred. That's a major glitch that I have a huge anchor memory with, and it was just this weekend. So today's Friday, so just this weekend, this whole ordeal happened. And today, I look down and I see they're exactly the same size. So I have to comment about the phenomenon itself and how the mind, there's a pull. It wants to go along with reality as it is. I could tell my mind did not want to call this out. But when I just stopped to think, I was like, no, I have to spotlight this. I have to say something. I have to document. I have to upload this on YouTube. I have to make a big deal. Even though I have a busy day, I have to stop and record. This is a reality change, and I know it just changed. Even though there's a lot of pull in me to not do this. And of course, there's not a whole lot of traction on the channel. I'm not saying this for views. I'm just documenting for my own self and perhaps anybody in the future who cares. Maybe my own family. Of course, I'll probably go down as the family crazy person. 3 generations from now, they're saying, yeah, that great 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 grandfather, he was nuts. Did you see his YouTube channel? I don't care. I don't care if everybody calls me a lunatic. I know what I experienced. I know these things are happening, and I have to document it. That's just. So I was going to get into other things. Maybe I'll just save that. I mean, I do have a lot to do today, but I was going to talk about this again and touch back on it because this was a huge one too. This is one that I know when we watched the movie, and it is October, that when they were called ugly by the boys, that she turned around and said, sisters, did you hear what he called you? And I thought that was funny because she didn't want to apply that to herself. And so I'm telling my son the next morning, I was like, saw a major change in reality last night. And he's like, oh, really? What was that? And he's on speaker with his wife there, and I'm on speaker with my wife in the room. And I'm saying we watched the show, and this is what was said. And my son's wife said, no way, I remember that line. I remember them saying that. And I was like, yeah. So my wife grabbed the phone and said, your father's crazy. I watched the movie too. I heard her say it. Don't listen to anything he says. So then I wasn't planning to do it, but I had to go back and scan through the movie and find the scene, look for the scenes again and find the scene and verify that it wasn't said. So I said, your mother is wrong. I just pulled up the movie to watch. So this I said Sunday, September 21st at 8:32. Your mother is wrong. I just pulled up the movie to watch that scene again. 1 hour and 6 minutes in, the response, sisters, did you hear what he called you? Did you hear? She really stretches out the hair. Did you hear what he called you? Never happens. Never happened. I mean, a crystal clear memory on this. Never happens. Anyway, I wanted to let y'all know that also happened. And interesting astronomy going on. There's an asteroid heading towards our moon that's about the size of like a 13-story building. And they want to blow it up. They want to shoot nukes at it and cause it to, scatter. Let's see how well that goes. I think this is like early 2030s. So a lot of interesting things happening at that time. Here's another one: major anomaly. Interstellar object measured to be over 33 billion tons. Yes, I'm calling out the 33. Physics doesn't work anymore. Anytime I see an article that says physics doesn't work anymore, and I think about the construct, I have to, you know. It is traveling backwards at 130,000 miles per hour. And it basically is saying it's passing through our solar system. Its speed is remarkable. Moreover, its orbit is nearly aligned with the plane of the ecliptic, but in retrograde motion. This retrograde motion means that the comet is traveling opposite the direction of our planets in our solar system, yet it remains in the same flat disk in which they orbit the sun. Unexpected pattern. One guy, this Avi guy, speculated that it could be extraterrestrial technology and potentially hostile intentions. Has a nice green glow to it there. And anyway, that ends that news. And then I just thought it was funny. Somebody said customers are seeking older, higher mileage vehicles. And I thought, yeah, because the technology doesn't work. It's a complete fail. The new cars suck. Nobody wants the new technology. And Tesla, oh my God, they're killing people. Elon Musk should be going to jail for manslaughter for all the people he's killed with this stupid technology. And back to the litter boxes. By the way, we still have the manual style litter box in our house, but all of my kids have bought robot litter boxes that do do all the work themselves. They don't have to do it. And robots are coming. My company is talking about bringing in robotic warehouse workers instead of real people. Forklifts will drive themselves, move the pallets around. They're also working on other technology to reduce our product, which is mostly fluid. They're working on technology that'll make it a concentrated powder. I don't know. I speculate 10-1 in size. And the powder gets mixed at the end location at the final destination. And then that would make our warehouses. I have about 2 million square feet of warehouses across the nation. It's all climate controlled. Very expensive to keep it in that temperature zone because there's such big space. And this product, which should be breaking out in the next 3 to 6 years, that's going to reduce the footprint of our facility needs down to nothing. So it's going to be interesting to watch. I might not have a job, but technology is coming. Maybe I'll buy one of those robotic kitty litter boxes, but still old school. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Thanks for listening. Thanks for having a few people out there that know that or believe that, I'm telling the truth and I'm not crazy. I'm not delusional. I'm not making it up. Sam Adams, when he was really, painting me as like this secret double agent to destroy the King James Bible, which that wasn't my intention, nor did I care. He suggested in one of our calls that I was just doing this as a show for YouTube, and that with my own real family, I'd never bring this up. I'd never mention it, but couldn't be further from the truth. Just like the story with this here and me talking about hocus pocus, I share it too much. Of course, I try to keep a lid on it around my wife because it just gets her angry to hear about it. And then my kids, even they don't receive it with great reception. Like my son's like, whatever. His wife though is like, I remember that line. So I don't know if they're going to go back and check it. Maybe if they watch the movie by any chance this year, she'll remember what I said, and maybe it'll still be gone. Who knows? But that's about all I got. Hope y'all have a great Friday. Oh, I do have more. Sorry. It was September 23, 2016 when I had my God encounter, and that's what started the Mandela effect and all that fun stuff. And I've mentioned that several times over the years. Just talk about the experience itself. And that's my work phone chiming. Anyway, I guess there's been talk about there being a rapture. I shot a message to Ernie yesterday saying, "Are you still here?" And you know, I didn't know anything. I hadn't looked into this whole rapture thing at all, not one little bit. But apparently, September 2025 rapture prediction stems from a South African guy, Joshua. He had a dream back in 2018. He had a dream about the rapture aligning with Rosh Hashanah, and he described it himself as a simple believer. It gained speed on TikTok, I guess, and it just got carried away. People were aligning with the rapture would happen September 23rd to 24th. And he stated that Jesus said this was because of the world. The world was preparing for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and chaos would follow the rapture. So the other thing that I noticed is I was just reading an article that the FIFA World Cup's coming to my town. Dallas is one of 11 host cities. So I was reading that article just today, and then I was also checking up on what this September 23 thing was all about, and I thought, oh, that's an interesting connection that I just had read that about the FIFA. But, yep, still here. September 23 still remains an anniversary date for me, so it's been 9 years now of watching the world glitch around me, Mandela effects, all the crazy flip-flops, everything. I see the world itself kind of dwindling down as far as the Mandela effect community. It's not like it was. It's not like it once was, but whatever. I don't know how many times things glitch out, like the size of the kid litter box is changing. This might be happening all the time, and it's only when something remarkable happens and it anchors me to it and the memory cannot be denied that I call it out. And even then, even when it's this strong, even when I have a whole, argument about lifting anything heavy because I had the surgery and I'm loading it in with this little dolly and I'm tipping it against the one that exists, and I'm visibly noting to myself, man, this thing's a lot bigger than the other one. It's 3 inches higher. Even though I'm doing all of that, I still felt a nudge or an inkling to just go about my day and not talk about it. So I think it's important for us all to remember to keep a vigilant lookout for reality glitching. First of all, you have to accept that it's possible. A lot of people can't get past that. They can't even accept the idea that this is possible. So accept that it's possible and then start looking for it and ask to be led to it. I think asking to be shown is important. And then it just starts happening. And who knows? Maybe there's something with... maybe there's other factors that are going on right now that's making them jump up a little bit more. I know it's been a while since I've talked about glitches in reality to this magnitude. I mean, I did have the hocus pocus. I had the hash brown disappear, trying to keep a documented record. And we'll see. My great grandchildren might all laugh and call me crazy, but that's fine too. Anyway, have a great Friday, and God bless.